Hey guys, it's me, and welcome to What If Deku Had the Venom Symbiote Episode 5. Where we left off was with Kurogiri at the top of the stairs, and where Ida just left to get help from the heroes. The students were scattered across the USJ, and Deku was launched into the shipwreck zone, and the other people were in other locations that I'm too lazy to remember. As Deku was submerged in the water, he then thought to Venom to shift, to which he agreed with, and begin to cover himself in the symbiote as he began to grow taller and more muscular, along with his eyes becoming completely white. After his transformation ended, he began to swim around the shipwreck zone and look for his classmates until he saw a horde of villains surrounding his ship, to which he had a hunch about what was on the ship. He thought to Venom to take out the villains first, then get onto the ship, to which Venom replied with sure, mentally, and then begin to swim around some of the thugs and pull them underwater suddenly, while also knocking them out and leaving them to float. He kept this up until there were no more villains, and Venom leapt up onto the boat that the villains were surrounding, and discovers that the villains were surrounding Sue and Mineta, who was shaking in fear seeing Venom, since he looked like the ones from the movie. Mineta then just asked what he was doing here, since he had not seen Venom yet, so he did not know that it is Deku. Venom's jaw just opens to reveal Deku looking at Mineta with a deadpan face, and said, "Well, a thank you would be nice," to which Mineta freaked out as his classmate was covered in slime. Deku then asked if they were leaving yet or not, to which they just went with it and said yes. They had their unique ways of getting to shore. Deku jumped with a Venom symbiote, Sue swam, and Mineta grabbed onto Sue and hitched a ride to shore. Once they were out of the shipwreck zone and into the central plaza of the USJ, the trio saw that the teacher was on the ground with a giant bird-like creature with its brains exposed, held Aizawa with his arm behind his back and his head on the ground, with a small crater where his head hit the ground, and his elbow is cracked, revealing his muscle. The blue-haired villain introduced the tall blood thing as the bioengineered anti-symbol of peace, the Nomu. The heroes in training are shocked to see that their teacher has been taken down. The Nomu then twists Aizawa's arm, breaking it as more blood squirts out. They found out that Aizawa's quirk doesn't work on the Nomu, as it pushes his his arm down and slams his head on the ground. The blue-haired villain began talking about leaving, but turned to look directly at Deku and the others, while also appearing in front of the three heroes in training, while going to put his hand on Sue's face, but stopped before touching her as he turned and using his quirk on her as he turned to see Aizawa. Aizawa was facing him, with his eyes glowing red and his hair sticking up. That was until the Nomu slammed his head down, making the crater even bigger. Deku then jumped and goes to swing at Shigaraki, using one for all at 100%, creating a shockwave to cover Shigaraki. But when the dust clears, it reveals that the Nomu took the blow from one for all without even flinching, to which Deku looked at him with his eyes widened and didn't break his arm before the Nomu grabbed his arm, and the front door slammed open to reveal All Might, but he wasn't smiling like he would normally. He then proceeded to tear off his tie and say his signature line, "Don't worry, why, for I am here." All Might then disappeared from the top of the staircase and appears behind a bunch of beat-up villains and in front of an injured Eraserhead. He then jumps to move Sue, Mineta, and Deku, while also punching Shigaraki. He orders the heroes in training to take Aizawa away, as he doesn't have much time. All Might reassures the trio that he will be fine. He then dashes at Shigaraki while putting his arm into an X formation before yelling Carolina Smash, which was blocked by the Nomu. The Nomu wasn't fazed by this and tries to grab All Might, but All Might dodges by doing the limbo. All Might then throws a punch aimed at the Nomu's stomach, but it had no effect. He then tries a left hook before a right hook and repeats this 2 times. The Nomu then tries to grab All Might, but he jumps back, but the Nomu appears in front of him. Shigaraki then explains that the Nomu has a quirk called shock absorption. All Might goes behind the Nomu and grabs him before doing a German suplex, causing a shockwave to blow away some trees and the water. When the shockwave clears, it reveals the Nomu's upper half, in a portal, with it emerging and grabbing All Might in the right side of his stomach, which is where his weak spot is located. The Nomu then squeezes his hand, making All Might's stomach area bleed. All Might then releases the Nomu to try and pry the Nomu's hand off of him. The Nomu pulls All Might into the portal until he was halfway in, and begins squeezing All Might until it became too tight. With Deku, he asks Sue to hold on to Aizawa before handing him to her and running to help All Might. He jumps to attack, but is blocked by Kurogiri using his body, but is stopped and blown up by Bakugo, who then grabs the metal part and Kurogiri, holding him down so he can't move. Ice begins to travel up along the floor to the Nomu's feet before climbing up onto him and travelling up his body until it reaches his hand, which loosens the Nomu's grip and allowing All Might to escape. The Nomu gets out of the portal before his limbs that had ice on it fell off, before his limbs quickly grow back. Kirishima comes out of nowhere and attacks Shigaraki, but he keeps dodging. Shigaraki then explains that the Nomu had another quirk, which is super regeneration. He then runs at Bakugo faster than they can react, but with Deku, Venom took control of his body and moved in front of Bakugo and stops them from reaching Bakugo. This causes dust to go flying, and when it cleared, it revealed Venom blocking the hit and protecting Bakugo. Venom then goes for a right hook, launching the Nomu back a bit. Venom then grabs the Nomu by his arm and rips it clean off. The Nomu regenerates but jumps beside Shigaraki. All Might and the Nomu then begin to launch a barrage of attacks at each other before All Might's fist glows and All Might yells, "Say you've heard these words before." All Might says, "You've heard these words before, but let me teach you what they really mean. Go beyond plus ultra." He then punches the Nomu with so much force that it launches the Nomu through the roof of the USJ. All Might's body then begins to smoke before telling the villains to surrender. Shigaraki then charges at All Might, but Deku then threw a punch at Shigaraki. But before his punch could connect, a portal showed up, which both of their hands went through. While Deku's punch completely missed Shigaraki, Shigaraki's hand was close to Deku's face before a bullet pierced his hand. The bullet was from Snipe, a pro hero from UA. After this, Shigaraki was shot through the legs, and then Kurogiri teleported them away. Okay guys, I'm going to end this video here. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you a lot in the next one. Sorry for this being so short. Hope you have enjoyed. Bye.